You're listening to The Front Porch Show. Some shows are niche shows, talking about specific topics. Others, shows about nothing. This show is the show about everything. On The Front Porch Show, we'll talk about current events, some news, a little bit of politics, along with a whole lot of life. Welcome to Our Front Porch. 1-402-799-1811 is our message line number. www.thefrontporchshow.com. I've got Ozzy off to one side, Jeff off to the other. He's looking at his computer screen, pondering deeply, and brushing
regretting my decision to be. No, just kidding.
You were brushing your invisible goatee. It was kind of weird. Ozzy on the other side is twirling his handlebars.
but it's not a mustache. He's just on a tricycle.
He's just on a tricycle.
The little
I do have those
streamers on the end of his handlebar.
Yep.
The joy.
My daughter has a bike with streamers.
I was going to say the joys of little kids.
No, it's his bike. Notice he didn't say his kid has one. He said he has those.
Tombstone.
I don't want to talk about it.
Tombstone, of course, is no longer with us today. That sounded horrible.
Wow,
he's had a
horrible.
terrible stroke of bad luck.
He is gone. But 3 out of 4 ain't bad. 3 out of 4 ain't bad.
Yep.
So I'll take it. I'll take that any day.
It's better than a major league hitter.
Speaking of people who we almost lost this week, Bernie Sanders, guys.
Goodness gracious.
What's up with that?
I don't know.
Well, when you're in your 80s,
Right.
late 70s, and you run stressful political campaigns your whole life.
It's true.
Now, you can tell he's not a true socialist because there's not enough food in a socialist country for him to get blocked arteries.
Well, right.
Yes.
And you'll notice he didn't go to Canada to get his health care.
I was going to say,
he got it at a hospital here in the U.S.
Did he go to an emergency room that told him that he needed to wait a couple months?
I literally saw a friend of mine on Facebook. The guy I haven't talked to in many years. He's a Bernie Sanders supporter. And I saw him literally arguing with somebody because somebody made some joke under an article about it and did he use private healthcare or government subsidized healthcare? I bet he used his private healthcare. And they were getting in a debate about the fact that he used his healthcare that he has as a U.S. senator. And so even though the one guy was saying, so it's a private plan, like he has a private plan that's provided by his job. And the Bernie Sanders supporter was arguing that it's government subsidized healthcare because the taxpayers are paying for it because his job is being a senator. And
would it have even mattered as if he doesn't have enough money?
Yes, it is government subsidized healthcare, but the government subsidized healthcare, if you want to call it that Bernie is on as us footing the bill for him working for the Senate is a lot different than the government subsidized healthcare you will get.
It's like 2 or 3 times better.
So what you're saying is
Medicare
that we saved Bernie's life.
So yes, your tax dollars saved Bernie's life.
You're welcome,
Thank you.
world.
Thank you.
And, to be honest, to be fair, we don't wish ill health upon most people. And so,
wait.
I just started to think of mass murderers, people like that. Like, I guess I'm still pro death penalty for those things. So there's a few people out there that I may or may not.
Wait, what?
Where are we going with this?
Wish ill will on. But Bernie.
So we're going as death penalty injections as health care?
No. What I'm saying is.
I just think we need to preface all this by saying Jeff got up really early this morning, went to work, and now he's on the show.
We don't wish ill upon Bernie Sanders in this way. We're glad that he seems to be doing well.
Yes.
And I'm trying to equate that while there are some people out there that deserve things, we're not saying he does. We hope he recovers.
We're looking forward to many more socialist rants from Bernie Sanders in the future.
If nothing else, it's entertaining.
There you go.
Unfortunately, he's spending our money while he's doing it, but it's entertaining. So what can I say,
guys? Totally different note. But it's along the healthcare run. It's on the healthcare line of thought. I'm driving through Wyoming this week, right? I live in northeast Nebraska. Drive every once in a while across the state to head to western Nebraska and occasionally into Wyoming to do housing inspections. And I am in, is it Casper? No, it's Douglas, Wyoming. I'm in Douglas, Wyoming. and I am about to go across this long bridge, and I look over on the side, and lining the bridge is women's underwear. Bras.
Underwear or bras?
Bras.
Because you sent me the article.
Oh, okay. Did I send you the article?
Or you put it, or no, I guess I Googled it.
I guess you must have Googled it. Yeah. So I'm driving across, like, I hit this bridge and I'm like, I mean, as a happily married man, I am a purveyor of my wife's underwear. I thoroughly enjoy it. And so I'm driving across this bridge and I'm like, what in the world?
I want to rephrase that.
We need a mute button on our end for him because
I'm like, what is up with this? This is very curious.
Mathis did not get up early this morning and is fully aware of what he's saying.
No, I'm not.
As much as he ever is.
I'm the only one that hasn't stuck his foot in his mouth yet.
We're only
it's
5
coming.
minutes in.
Here we go.
And so I'm like,
clear,
check that out.
Weirder. It's weirder when you say a bridge lined with women's underwear.
No, yeah,
it's
I know. Bras.
It's undergarments.
Undergarments. Bras.
Okay.
Yes. So I'm driving across it, and I'm like, and then I realize, oh, this must be for breast cancer awareness, right?
Right.
That's this month or something,
yes,
or was
October
last month?
October is
this
breast
month,
cancer awareness.
Okay,
it's this month. Yeah.
And then I start thinking, my mind just starts running. I'm like, that's a lot of money hanging up on the side of this bridge.
So he stops and he snaps them.
No. And then I started thinking,
abort.
Then I started thinking, man, I'm really glad I'm really glad we are really glad that we're bringing awareness to this and not like prostate cancer. Because that could change what the whole bridge looks like.
I don't know how to comment on that.
No. There's no way to
be a bunch of jock straps.
Yeah, right. I know. I don't even know. I'm just. I was like, oh well, and then I kept driving to Casper.
This is quite the opening segment.
I hit the gas and I just left. I was like,
yep. We're in prime form,
so yes, it is a breast cancer awareness.
Oh, cool
thing.
Cool.
Several companies are doing like wear pink for this month. They'll allow pink into their uniform stuff.
I feel like we're on the very edge of the culture warrior, like battle here. That it's the first part of the month and we're already bringing awareness to this topic.
Oh, I was like, because you drove across a bridge?
No, because we're bringing awareness to this topic. I feel like we're doing something great here. It's incredible.
Something we should look into, because I've seen a couple people now talking about Breast Cancer Awareness Month and talking about donating for this that have said, they're talking about supporting it and supporting different things and their friends that have had it. And one of these people said that Susan G. Komen, which is like the big, Susan G. Komen for the cure of breast cancer awareness, like they've said that's like a scam was the word they used. I wanted to dig into it more. I think I saved the post one. Essentially, it's just gotten so big that it's just they raise money to raise money, but not a lot of the money goes to research or something. So I wanted to look into that to see if that's true, because there's a lot of times where that happens in different industries, unfortunately, where some sort of fundraising entity gets so large that they almost get so focused on the fundraising and paying all the bigwigs to do the fundraising that they don't actually do anything with their resources. I don't know that that's verified true. I saw that interesting thing, so maybe that's something we should look into as a show topic.
It seems to be a hard line to walk on those things, because it's a lot of times it's like, you're right, like with the big organization, it's almost like they get too big and then all of a sudden it's really hard for them to but it's really hard for them to keep the company as is and still keep funding everything with the same efficiency.
All of a sudden it becomes about propping the company up versus the cause.
With saying that, I'm really curious as, okay, is it better for the company to be bigger because then they can put more money than they used to? It just may be a smaller percentage of what they make? Or is it better for a smaller company to give more?
Well, and a bigger company can, even if a bigger company has more expenses, it can raise more, probably.
Right.
I think the key is that what it comes down to is that power attracts corruption. And so to some extent,
with great power comes great responsibility.
Yeah, there you go. Uncle What's
Ben?
Peter Parker's Uncle Ben?
Ben
yeah,
Parker. Yeah.
Uncle Ben. Can tell us that.
Wow. That was really subtle considering I'm like staring right at you. Not that my name is Ben or anything.
That's a good point. Are you an uncle, though?
I am, yeah.
Oh, so there you go. So
See?
perfect.
Uncle
so,
Ben.
I also have rice in my house. Boom!
But I mean, so I don't know. I'm not saying all these organizations are corrupt or whatever, but the point being that as they get bigger, sometimes I think that's what happens is people now see it as a vehicle for power, fame, notoriety, whatever, versus, I mean, even the NRA is going through some struggles right now with some internal battles over finances and uses of things like that. So one other healthcare related thing, I guess, that we can bring up in this for whatever reason, healthcare focused.
Why do you want to talk about this? I just shoved my face full of food, Jeff.
That's why I want to talk about it. So,
whoa! Picking on the fat guy here.
You've heard many times.
Is it that hard to do, though?
Joke about
no,
our father figures, if you will, here on the Front Porch Show.
Dad bods. And
so we've decided, I think, because Mathis has been trying to show us all up on his own anyways. The discussion has been for a Front Porch Show. Oh man, Ben is showing us his dad gut over there. Front Porch Show weight loss contest here amongst all us.
We basically decided to include Tombstone in this.
Now, Tombstone is in on this without him knowing.
Tombstone's in.
He's going to be in.
He's agreed to it whether he knows it or not.
Yeah. No, he said this week.
And we've decided to do this during the hardest quarter of the year to do it. You've got Halloween in October, Thanksgiving in November, and the Christmas in December.
So is this like from now until December 31st?
So my thought was now to the end of the year.
I think so. Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
And what we'll have to do is we'll have to do percentages or something, obviously, or who hits their goals or something, because obviously some of us have more to lose than others. But he's looking around for something, not listening to me at the moment. But
no, I'm looking for paper here,
and we needed some motivation. So at least I needed some motivation.
True.
So
and Tombstone needs motivation because he's doing that. You know what we should do? We should like decide to like do the 0.5K at the end of this.
Yes. Yeah.
We're all getting in shape for the 0.5K.
So we are. I am working with some local folks on that right now. To host in the spring a 0.5K.
Yes.
And
let's do it.
It's shaping up pretty well.
I mean, of course, it's shaping
ridiculous.
up pretty well. Everybody can't get skinny from this.
Right. So let me just October 5th through
October 5.
December 31.
How many
so
days
are we setting a goal? Because my goal is to gain like 5 pounds.
Oh, we're doing that.
No.
Wait,
that's easy,
that
man.
goal I could blow out of the water.
This is
next 3 months.
Yeah, but I mean, if we're doing a 0.5K, that may be coming in handy. I'm just saying.
That should be the goal. We should have a weight gain contest to the end of the year, and then do a 0.5K,
Yes.
and then the beginning of the year is the weight loss contest.
Guys, I go on a cruise January 5. Yes. All bets are off.
So Mathis is trying to get that cruise body.
Listen, it doesn't matter. Listen, it doesn't matter if you get the cruise body or not, because nobody's going to be able to look at your body because of how white it's going to be.
Isn't that the truth?
One of my defenses.
Isn't that the truth? Man, so true.
Oh, we're losing Jeff here.
Yeah, we lost Jeff.
Oh well.
That's what happens. That's what happens when your internet's rough. He'll be back in a couple of minutes, I'm sure.
Oh, here we are.
Yeah, there he is.
Something just went crazy here.
Yeah, no, you're back. Yay.
All right, so I guess we're doing what, like percentages or something like that?
Yeah, what are we doing, Jeff?
I have not given it that much thought.
Well, it looks like you're heading it up, according to me, Matt.
Yeah.
And we're going to just throw in Tombstone there, so.
My thought would be probably percentages of some sort, whether it's percent of your goal or percent of your, because you can't do, would percent of your body weight be?
Well, I mean, technically, yes. I think the percentage of body weight is probably the best
way to do it,
because then everybody can go with however much you weigh.
That's true. So you can pick a percent of your body weight to lose, and then figure out where you are in your goal.
I'd like to lose 34%.
So let's figure that out. Let's figure that out for next week. We will figure that out for next week.
Somehow find a way to keep
I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to be a dark horse, and I'm just going to grow my hair out for the next 4 months. And then
shave it all.
Yep.
Nice.
And I'm just going to cut it all. Yeah.
Is that really going to be enough, though?
Trust me. With the hair as long as it is on my back, it's going to be awesome.
Oh, he's shaving everything. He's pulling a tombstone.
Like Tombstone.
It's all coming off.
Oh,
it's all coming off.
Tombstone will finally shave his legs.
I need to gain that extra ounce or lose that extra ounce. One of my challenges is I'm not specifically trying to necessarily lose weight. I'm more trying to I'm lifting and stuff. And so,
but for those muscles to show up, you're going to have to lose the layer of fat that's over.
Exactly. So it is. I like the percentage thing that we're doing.
Well, and that's why, because then you've got a number you're trying to get to.
Right.
Your number may be higher if you're going for more body mass as far as muscle.
Right.
But
I think I'm going to plan on losing, 2 pounds.
That's good.
Total?
That's good.
So,
that's a good idea.
2 pounds total. That way I can reach
So
maybe
if I
do 4, I could reach
take
200%,
an X-Lax before the final weigh-in show, and then you'll be good to go.
Yeah, that's basically it. Yeah.
So you'll have to, Jeff. You'll have to give us how we're going to calculate this all out.
All right, I'll have to figure it out
and make sure we have that by next week.
You need to do some research while you're just sitting there on autopilot.
But we should do our weigh-ins right now, as soon as possible, right?
Correct. Matter of fact, I'm a week ahead of you guys because I started this week.
Okay. Well, I don't have a scale. That's a problem.
Really?
Yeah. No.
What?
No, I don't.
What?
I don't do scale. I do.
I don't believe that.
I don't have a scale.
What do you go out to the barn and weigh yourself on
No.
you have a deer hook that's got a
meat hook.
Yeah. No, I was thinking about it. It's I do not own a scale. No, I don't weigh myself. I do pant sizes.
Well, that's not going to be helpful.
No, exactly. It's not. That's what I'm saying.
I lost a pant size.
So now I'm going to have to go out and buy a scale, guys.
Dude, that is what Amazon is for, man.
Absolutely.
It's true.
So
just
I have
right
this
now,
one that's
Alexa,
Bluetooth and all.
Order the most expensive scale you can find for Mathis.
Hey,
I need a scale.
This is why I don't have. This is why I don't have one-click ordering.
Exactly.
Because of you guys.
They deliver in other ways, but they want to deliver vast amounts of information over the internet. And again, the internet is not something that you just dump something on. It's not a big truck. It's a series of tubes. And if you don't understand, those tubes can be filled. And if they're filled, when you put your message in, it gets in line. It's going to be delayed by anyone that puts into that tube enormous amounts of material.
She's shocked that I picked her. Like in a state of shock.
I'm not thinking, Mr.
That's
President.
okay. I know you're not thinking. You never do.
I'm sorry?
No, go ahead.
I don't even know. Yeah, he's got a way about him, man. He's got a way about him. So we talked last week about the whole Ukraine Trump debacle, scandal, whatever you want to call it. It depends on, I guess, what side of the political aisle you're on, of what you want to call it.
What you can call it is the next goalpost, the moving goalpost of impeachment.
Right. And so we talked about last week how only one U.S. president was not threatened with impeachment by the Democrats, and that was Gerald Ford. Right. One U.S. president since Eisenhower. So five Republican presidents have been threatened with impeachment.
And Ford wasn't?
Ford was not. No, he wasn't. I remember he was the fall guy for
drawn out thing about it, and I kind of glazed over.
It was because Nixon. It was because Nixon got kicked out, and the Democrats knew that it wasn't tenable to have, two presidents back to back. Right.
Impeach them both.
Right, and because they didn't impeach Ford, they got Carter, which was a great thing.
Oh man,
so think about that one. I swear we're in nursery school sometimes. Thank you, Ozzy. And
we gotta turn this camera off.
So we are so
I
this
enjoy politics, but
no, I hear you.
Got to make it fun here.
It's true.
Especially
So
with Tombstone
this
not being
week,
here.
this week, more of the same stuff, basically. Except more stuff has come out about the whole timeline of how things have happened. And that's that Schiff actually ended up receiving the information back in August. And I think we mentioned that back last week.
Right.
Ended up changing the rules for whistleblowers early on in September after he received the information in order to allow this quote unquote whistleblower literal third party whistleblowing what do you call it? Dossier? Report, yeah, whatever you want to call it. So so it comes out then. And so now we have everyone clamoring that there's issues. We've got the beautiful troll by Donald Trump this week with Nickelback. With Biden saying he has never ever met with any Ukrainian oil conglomerate officials or whatever.
Right.
Look at this photograph.
Yes, exactly.
Every time I do, it makes me laugh.
And as
that was the last
they've got the photograph held up. Yeah, exactly. As he's holding up the photograph of Biden, Hunter, and the oil officials. Yeah. And it's like, okay, and they're all playing golf together. They spent some time together, 4 hours at least.
This is exactly how I would love to form all of my political opinions, is by trolls like this. Because it's just great.
It is.
I think it should just be whoever can make the funniest troll about somebody else should go with it.
Do you think Nickelback is truly that hated, or everyone's just like, it's the cool thing to do?
I fully admit there's like 3 Nickelback songs that I like.
Whatever.
Because I feel like a couple of their songs are actually catchy, and I'm scared to admit it in public because you're afraid you're going to be like,
we're going to check out Jeff's phone and it's
Nickelback. So we have
I don't think I have any times.
I don't think I have any music on my phone.
So every once in a while, we have some friends over. We've got a great place. No, just hold on. We've got a great entertainment place. We've got a big deck and everything, and so we're sitting there chilling out, eating some food, and I got the music on in the back. I got my playlist. Now my playlist is incredibly eclectic. I've got everything on it, from southern rock to Christian to everything. Like it's literally a mix of everything that I like.
The Charlie Rap, man.
Yeah, like it's got everything on it, and then as we're sitting there,
rap, Beethoven.
All of a sudden, Nickelback starts playing, and I'm like, "Oh, how'd this get on here?"
My Red, what are you doing?
It was
so
shameful.
Anyway,
it was shameful.
Where are we going with
this Trump stuff? I don't know. This is a nightmare, and it honestly looks to me from some of the stuff I've been able to see in it, it actually looks like it could be a bigger, if the Democrats didn't control most of the media and weren't way better at messaging and using political tactics against their enemies than the Republicans, this could actually be exposing a bunch of things that are bad for the Democrats, from their dealings with how they used Ukraine and dealt with some of the Ukrainian officials during the 2016 election. Like essentially the stuff that they claim that Trump did with Russia,
Biden already did earlier.
Well, not even Biden, like the Democrats in general. Forget about Biden and his thing with the oil executives and his son in the business. That's bad for Biden. But the Democrats in general are supposedly involved with Ukraine in some way. And I don't know all the details, so I'm not going to attempt to explain it all right now.
The point being, did Trump
there's so much dirt
wrong on
everybody. If he would just keep his flipping mouth shut and just kind of let it roll off his back, like subtle, when he does the subtle comebacks, sometimes it's genius. Like the tweet about Greta Thunberg, whatever you think about whether you should respond to a child or whether it's a trap or whatever, the very subtle kind of the very subtle kind of what's the term I'm looking for? Passive aggressive, like this is a very happy child or something like that, or his whole "you never do" think. Like those ones are funny, but he needs to keep his mouth shut.
Let me roll this.
Twitter.
This is from a press conference with, I think, was it with the Finnish president or something? It was with someone. It was with someone from Scandinavia.
My blood pressure can't handle this.
No, just listen.
Okay, what's your second question? Well, you shouldn't be asking two questions.
Well, you're going to want to answer.
Do me a favor. Ask one of the.
I will, but
Finnish
I think you'll want.
John,
I think you'll want to answer this question.
Ask one of the Finnish president.
And then can I come back to you because I think you'll want to answer.
We'll talk later. Sure. Well, it sounds like it might be a good question. Let me see if I like the question. Go ahead. Maybe for the first time in 3 years, I'll have a good question, and I'll love it.
There is a report that came out just before you and President Niinistö walked out here that the whistleblower met with a staff member of Adam Schiff prior
I love that question
being filed.
It shows that Schiff is a fraud.
And
I love that question. Thank you, John.
So can I finish asking?
Yes, there's nothing to finish.
So the whistleblower, according to this report, met with a member of Adam Schiff's staff. You got it right there. You know it.
I hate to say it's the New York Times. I can't believe they wrote it.
Your response to the
he's actually holding up the article right now. Trump is, because he was handed it before he walked out the door.
Whistleblower knew prior to the complaint.
Well, I think it's a scandal that he knew before. I go a step further. I think he probably helped write it. Okay, that's what the word is.
Now, people are complaining about that as well, by the way.
Oh, that didn't sound like a crazy rant yet. You said you had a crazy rant.
Well, no, I didn't say I have a crazy rant. I just said I had a crazy comment from him. There it was.
You know, and now you get this
crazy.
whole... I've seen people saying that him calling Schiff a fraud is interfering with whatever, and that's impeachable. Literally everything the man does, they say, is impeachable. And I'm not going to... Here's the trouble, okay? He's not helping himself, because there are some things he's done that probably fall in gray areas, or can be, or whether they're straight up legit, because some sources that I trust are saying, as far as asking Ukraine to investigate corruption within their own government, there's nothing impeachable about that. That's completely within the bounds of a president, whatever. Okay. The point being is, even if it's something that's technically in bounds that your opponents are going to try to twist and use against you, him running his mouth and all the other stuff he does opens him up to this criticism, and he just provides soundbite after soundbite of looking like an idiot or being the angry man, whatever. And I don't know. I don't know what the answer is, because him punching back all the time seemed to work for him.
4D chess.
So it's not 4D chess. It's insanity. But I don't know. I'm so sick of, honestly, they've gotten me to the point where I don't care what Donald Trump did. I'm almost here. I can't say I'm fully here, because that would be wrong. That'd be a lie. I'd be compromising my principles. But to some extent, I don't care what he did, because you literally, if the man jaywalked, you'd say it was an impeachable offense.
That is impeachable.
If the man put a fake,
true.
If a man put a fake email in to get on some free Wi-Fi at the airport, they would say it's impeachable. Like,
unless you're Hillary Clinton,
they've taken everything to a point where I don't care anymore, because it's insanity. Like, you know what I'm saying?
We really need to get back to the point of motivation. What is the motivation of someone doing something? Like, because that's what the whole Ukraine thing comes down to. The question isn't whether he withheld funds. The question isn't whether he asked for information on Biden because of corruption, which the Ukrainians had signed a treaty with the U.S. to weed out corruption.
And that's the thing is, again, the stuff he does falls in that, because technically he asked them to investigate corruption within their own government,
which was within the bounds.
Technically, from what I understand, he didn't actually threaten to withhold money if they didn't do it. And so, yes, that corruption does involve Joe Biden. So you probably know that there's some element of it where he's hoping this hurts Biden's campaign.
right?
But the things that he's done so far, I don't know that I can say from the stuff I've seen that it's impeachable. And again, if this was all of a sudden they hadn't been clamoring for impeachment for the last 2.5 years, and now all of a sudden this popped up, it's like the boy that's cried wolf, right?
Right.
It's like Russia, actually, there's nothing. And then all of a sudden it was impeach Kavanaugh, and then that went away.
Which
very
that's
quickly
funny because
there was
that's
nothing.
disappeared in the last 2 weeks.
Because all of a sudden they had another chance to impeach Trump, and it's just like
I'm getting tired of the screens for impeachment.
Do you think that they're afraid they're going to lose the election, and so they think they have to take him out this way because if they can't take him out of the process, they think they'll lose to him again? Do you think that's some of it?
Yeah.
I don't know, because I didn't think he was that clearly of a chance to win. I think
neither did
I. I think he's very, but I think he's very vulnerable.
I think
do think they're kind of panicking too,
because
because
they're trying to figure out what in the world they can do because nothing's really working.
Biden,
at least it doesn't
Biden's
seem. Maybe
crumbling.
It is working, and he's just that good at faking it. I don't know.
Biden's crumbling and has health issues, like I think mentally. Right. Bernie now has
Bernie's
health issues.
It's going to be Warren.
With the heart. It's got to be Warren. And I don't know that she's that strong.
I don't know.
Yes, because here's another thing. So a guy I was listening to explains the way the Democrat caucuses specifically work in Iowa, which obviously first in the nation, right? Primaries and stuff.
Yeah.
They do like a straw poll type thing at the beginning. He was explaining it all. So essentially you kind of get to see everybody's vote before the final vote because you all gather in your corners for your different people.
And in this corner.
And what happens is you start to see the groups form, is the way I've had this explained to me. And you look at it and you realize, well, my guy's not going to win. Right. Like Bernie, Sanders tries to be much more progressive, borderline socialist. Like Bernie people, Sanders is Bernie people. Warren is probably, I think I said Sanders, but Warren is probably like a number 2 for a lot of Bernie people, right?
Right.
So you see Bernie's not doing very well. Before the final vote, all those people will jump ship and vote for Sanders. And kind of same thing if you're for some other type
or
person.
Vote for Warren, you mean?
Or Warren. I keep saying Sanders instead of Warren. Sorry, it's Elizabeth Warren, not Elizabeth Sanders. So like if Warren is a lot of people's
Sanders?
number 2.
Colonel.
If
I'm voting for the chicken, boys.
Chicken baby. Yeah.
If Elizabeth Warren is a bunch of people's number 2, then she might come out of that caucus actually leading because so many people will see, well, my number 1 person isn't going to win. I'll switch to my number 2.
Right.
Yeah. And if everyone's number 2 is the same and she comes out of Iowa winning, well, then she goes up into the Northeast where she's from anyways. And she's going to clean up there, and then it's over,
Right.
So the odds are very likely that she's the candidate.
No, the question
very is she beatable for Trump?
That's a good question. I don't know.
He needs to keep his mouth shut.
This thing was 10 foot tall. He had beautiful hair. He looked like he had 6 fingers on each hand.
Might have been
I come
Ozzy.
out here and rough talked him and run him off. And I said, get away from here. Get. And he went right back out that path again.
www.thefrontporchshow.com.
See, Tombstone was here today.
He was.
The only thing I know is if you find a 6-fingered man, you got to kill him because he probably killed your father. So I'm just saying.
Oh,
he did. But you have to introduce yourself.
Truth.
State why you're there.
Yes.
And then state what you're going to do.
There is proper form and etiquette to that.
There is.
And don't remake that movie while you're at it, please.
Oh, please don't.
Okay.
We talked about that last week. It was good.
2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago we did. Oh, that's right. You were on the show.
Shortage of perfect movies.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. So with that beautiful intro that Matt has provided for us. Yes, hunting season is upon us in many states. Bow season has started. Some states there might be some early firearm hunts for older people, young kids.
Started this week. We actually private land in Nebraska is 1 full week of October firearm season for antlerless.
Interesting.
My nephew has his lifetime hunting license for Tennessee because the younger you buy it, the cheaper it is.
Oh, nice.
My brother-in-law bought it when he was like 2 years old,
Yep.
a year and a half old, something like that.
Yeah, you hit like 20s
Nice.
and then it starts going backwards again. Like it's super high and then it starts dropping again finally. But
Well,
yeah, I gotta
with
get
hunting
that.
season
I gotta get
upon
those for my
us,
boys.
we all need to pay attention to hunter safety. And we have some people here in Georgia.
Oh, no, please.
So, yes. Yes, Ozzy.
Were they
Georgia.
throwing beanbags at people? And is there going to be like this Southern belle that comes out and starts yelling at people? Stop it!
There's nobody named Karen asking to see the manager. However, there probably should have been. So, a Georgia hunter. Oh, wait.
Okay.
This story's been updated since I put it on here
Yeah, it has, unfortunately.
with an unfortunate update.
Yeah.
So I did not realize this when I put it in the show notes earlier in the week. It is now updated to say a Georgia hunter was fatally shot after being mistaken for a deer by another person
A teenage hunter.
in his own hunting party.
Yeah.
So this is out of WGAL 8 out of Georgia. And Bobby Lane, so there is that Southern name, but now I don't want to make fun of it. Bobby Lane, he was 17. He was in an area of heavy foliage, and this was back on Saturday, September 30th.
He was wrapped in foil.
Foliage. I don't
You
like
said
that word.
foliage.
I did say it wrong. Foliage. Thank you. Thank you for the correction.
You're welcome.
There's no hope for you this week.
I haven't had enough coffee yet, apparently. When he was thought to be an animal by another hunter.
Man,
So
that's terrible.
that is terrible.
What?
And it says there was a description says about the guy. The two hunters actually knew each other, the police said. And his cousin speaking about it says apparently he shot through the bush thinking it was a deer. All right.
You don't do that.
Folks.
Right.
I thought originally I had seen it was. Oh no, I'm thinking of another video I had seen shared. I was thinking it was shotgun originally, but folks, this is just stupidity. Okay.
Ridiculous.
Basic firearm safety rules. Treat every gun like it's loaded. Of course, they knew their guns were loaded. They're hunting. Always keep your firearm pointed in the safe direction. Booger hook off bang switch till ready to shoot. For those of you that can't follow that, that's finger off trigger.
The trigger.
And then be sure of your target and what's beyond it.
Okay.
This guy was not sure of his target and not what was beyond it because he saw movement in a bush and shot at it. Okay. Another point, even if it was an animal, if you shoot at movement through a bush, you don't know if it's a doe, you don't know if it's a buck, you don't know if it's still got spots, because if it was a baby that was born late in the season or something, you don't know what it is you're shooting at.
Yeah,
and you don't know where you're going to hit it.
Man, if it brown it down.
But you don't even know if you're going to hit it. And then I assume most states have some sort of orange law. I don't know how much orange they have to wear in Georgia. In Michigan, there's a certain like square inch
that's what
size
I'm curious
of orange
about,
you have to wear.
Because what are the ramifications? Because I know you guys talked about this before, where it was, how much does camouflage actually matter?
Doesn't.
And do you think right? But do you think that there should be something? As in, like, because I mean, potentially saving this kid's life, that it should be like that you have to wear all orange. I know that you have orange laws for certain pieces and stuff like that.
Most states require you to wear a vest.
Do you think that this has made it more dangerous for hunters because of when camouflage came along?
No, I don't think because what you wear hunting before, you either wore the black and red check flannel coat,
which is what I wear. I currently wear that.
Or you wore, well, actually it's muted compared to the bright orange.
It is.
But then
But
then or you wore like your buckskin colored Carhartts, which I recommend that no one wear in the woods. Don't trust anybody else. Yeah, don't wear tan Carhartts in the I had black Carhartt overall for the cold season that I'd wear under, or I had an orange suit. I honestly, for a while, I had when I was younger, because it was just what I got hand me down, I had like a full body snowsuit, and it was just solid orange. It wasn't orange camouflage. I was a giant orange blob in the woods. Okay. There might be a little that contrast comes into play.
I think that's the big thing.
Camouflage can help break up. So a camouflage that is very close to your surroundings could help break up your outline, because that's the most important part, is breaking up your outline, which you can also do with a blind.
Animals, I believe, right?
Correct. Which is
why it wouldn't matter if it was stark orange camo as opposed to
true. There's orange camo where there's orange within the camo. There's Realtree makes orange camo.
Right, right. But I'm saying like as in like actual woods. Colors,
it's more about scent and breaking up your outline. But for certain animals, for other animals, color is very important. It just depends on what you're hunting. Deer season, color isn't as important.
It's the movement, the movement and the smell.
Movement's big, but the thing is you just shouldn't shoot at movement. Like it's one thing. It's one thing if this guy was like walking. But even then, if you're walking through the woods in your tan Carhartts, you can't tell that's a deer.
Right.
Like
you need to have positive confirmation it's a deer.
Now, if you've seen the deer and the deer moves into an opening where you only see its shoulder, but you have a lane to the kill window, but you've seen the deer step into that spot, that might be another discussion. Because part of the deer's head or butt or whatever is shrouded, but it's like movement, bang.
Right.
That's just ridiculous, guys. And this is what, especially when you're not out hunting alone, especially when you're out hunting in a group, and so there's other people out there.
Right.
The other video that I had seen this week that I didn't put in here, I think it was this week I saw it. Somebody had shared a video that I saw that they're sitting in a blind. This was probably turkey hunting, and some guy was hunting from the road. You can see like a dirt road in the distance, probably like 2-track, and you hear the pellets from the shotgun.
Oh, actually, I think I saw
hit
that
the side of their pop-up blind. Hit the side of their pop-up blind.
That's terrifying.
No one was injured in that one, but it's just stupid. You know?
Pellets. Thankfully, at a distance. So duck season is like that. Unfortunately,
they rain down on top of you.
Yeah, they rain down on top of you, and so like you're popping ducks, and you've got people 500 yards away in their little duck boat firing towards you.
Dove season in the South is like insanity. It's 100. It's like 100 people go stand around a small field and the dogs kick up doves and everyone just shoots.
It's ridiculous. It's really ridiculous.
I have one of those dogs.
But you don't use it for that.
No. But that's what my Springer is bred to do is to go after birds.
It's good times.
So anyway,
be safe, guys. Be safe when you're out there
hunting. We enjoy hunting. Unfortunately, I didn't get out for bow season. It's not going to happen this year. I haven't even shot the bow this year due to multiple complications that I just haven't been able to do it. So firearm season's my last hope.
I would assume
this season.
I would assume to transition, because that would just came out of nowhere, right?
Wait, you're transitioning?
If you're going to shoot somebody, we have an alternate means of doing it.
Oh, yes.
That is actually orange.
It is.
So it is
safe.
It's super safe.
Super safe.
Whoever put this on here, I don't want to steal your thunder, so go.
No. I found.
I've seen this before, and it was actually
this is off fatherly.com. I saw this a while ago too.
To be honest, when I saw the title cheese ball shooter, I was actually hoping it was like a spud gun that was shooting like
actual cheese balls,
like cheese balls that you
that could have serious ramifications.
I don't know how safe this is. I see that it's a cheese puff. The barrel from Costco or Sam's.
Throw Triscuits in the air and then try and blast them with the cheese. So somebody stands below there trying to catch them in his mouth.
It's like a Velveeta cheese ball.
Oh man, dude. That's a $1 million idea right there.
If anyone is super curious, we will be posting this up to the show page.
This is super cool.
This was posted on, as I said, fatherly.com.
I love how they show you how to make it too.
And there's a YouTube video of how to make the cheese machine
gun.
And so that will be up on the page. And just a few pieces of PVC, some epoxy, a Dremel, and and a big leaf blower
bucket, one of those big buckets of cheese balls.
Yeah, right. And so you will have
$6 bucket of cheese balls.
You'll literally have hours of fun with your children.
Well, maybe not hours. I mean
minutes probably, depending on the rate of fire. But
that's what I'm wondering. How fast does this sucker fire?
Until your wife yells at you for shooting at your children with cheese balls.
This is what you do when she's gone for the weekend. First,
yeah,
so.
yeah, Ozzy. You can't
You're
just
feeding the kids. Kids, open your mouth.
It's good. I like it. It's
My
good.
kids would
It's
love
good.
it.
Right?
Brilliant.
Yeah, all
Brilliant.
kids would love it.
It's brilliant. It's awesome.
It's fun. It's a game, and there's food.
Absolutely.
And there's guns.
Right.
We'll probably sit around and cook some soups and eat bread and desserts and just get all fat and sassy.
We eat ribs and whatnot and listen to salsa music. You see where I'm coming from?
Free ponies for all Americans, one of the overlooked issues in America today.
Guys, we have I don't know if it's a weird article. I don't know if it's different.
It's a little strange.
I was going to start it out by saying, do you ever feel like you were born in the wrong era?
Yes, I do.
Because I have felt that way before.
I do. I feel that quite a bit.
I just wasn't necessarily my response.
But the 50s, no, the 50s was not what I was thinking.
No. This is strange. I don't know how I feel about this.
Yeah, I don't know either. So article rolled across the desk this week. Woman in Oregon decided she's had enough of the rat race and wanted to turn the clock back to the 50s. 30-year-old Katrina Holt? I think it's Holty.
You make fun of me saying foliage, but you can't pronounce a simple name.
Yeah, but you're supposed to be educated.
Holte.
Holty.
That's probably just Holt.
Anyways, she now lives as a 1950s housewife.
This is weird.
She wears 1950s clothing, has decored her house like 1950s, and she stays home cooking and cleaning and looking after her husband.
So I don't know what to
this
say
feels very Stepford Wives, guys.
It's very strange.
Except for the fact that she chose to do it.
Yeah, I know, right.
At this whole story, and it's what she wants to do.
Which
so
I'm cool with.
Stay home. She wants to take care of her house, and she wants to take care of her husband. I think maybe going to the level where she literally has done the home in 50s decors and she makes her dresses in the 50s.
That's the part that's a little extreme for me.
And yet if you're like, hey, this is more sophisticated and nicer, there's no way to win on this because we're a bunch of guys talking about this and we're going to say that we don't get to have an opinion or we're going to step and put our foot in our mouth somewhere.
No, I've got an opinion. I think it's weird. Oh,
it's a little weird the way that she's approached it.
But I mean, she can do whatever she wants.
What's wrong with the idea of her wanting to, if they can afford it, and that's what they want to do for their family, what's wrong with her staying home?
Right.
Her husband's an engineer.
For you,
Lars.
For the feminists out there, who they probably hate this, right? Like you said, they're going like Stepford Wives, Handmaid's Tale nonsense on this, okay? Like, what's wrong with this if it's her choice? And what's wrong with the era? If we're in a modern era where women have the choice to have a job and do whatever they want to do, but they choose to literally run their home like the 1950s where the dad works all day and the mom stays home and does everything and makes dinner and it's ready when she gets home and she does most of the stuff around the house.
I think something
What's
to
wrong
note.
with that? What's wrong with that balance if that's what they
whatever, that's what they want to do.
Right.
Like I'm cool with a couple doing whatever they want to do. Like whatever their home dynamic is, that's cool.
I'm going to now be the sexist pig because I said, what's wrong with that? But
no, I agree with you. Like whatever they want to do, whatever their dynamic is, that's cool. She isn't just like they portray it as she's just a stay-at-home mom or stay-at-home wife.
Right.
Like she actually sells her stuff. She is a business woman.
So she's selling all this 1950s stuff that she makes.
Yeah.
So she's turning it.
All right.
So
she's
so
turned this into a business. This is a marketing ploy.
I think what weirds us out is we see somebody who's completely trying to. I mean, I see a record player in the back. Although we have a nice old vintage record player from the 20s that we actually just got from my wife's grandparents.
I don't have a vintage one, but we have a record player.
No, I have a Victrola from 1920 that I want to get working again. It's pretty sweet. We'll have to talk about that again sometime. But so this whole like completely moving your home back into the 50s and like only watching I Love Lucy and whatever the other show they said like they watch old shows. Part of that seems like a little weird because I would like to see somebody have like modern decor, modern clothes, but do the 1950s thing as far as, you know what I'm saying? Like be a housewife, but a modern housewife kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that's, I think, where you're getting that weird vibe is because all the vintage stuff.
Yeah, it's very
But
strange.
then again, there's been times where I'm like, shoot, the eras where guys all wore hats and suits and trench coats when it rained, like they just looked more professional than everybody walking around in hoodies. So
I weirded a guy out the other night.
That's right. I think this is more. Sorry, go ahead.
I weirded a guy out the other night. I was staying in this hotel. I walk in. Dude is wearing
that would weird me out too.
Dude is wearing a tux suit, and I'm like, well, that's weird.
It's just a tux.
Well,
it's not a tux suit.
Yeah. I know. Thanks for that. Thanks for the clarification.
We are educated.
No, and he was a guy who you knew from his looks. He fish out of water, total fish out of water. He was not used to wearing a suit coat,
right?
And so I made a point.
There's a wedding.
No. I made a point to mention it to him. I was like, dude, nice. Like as I was leaving the desk, I'm like, dude, nice suit coat. I mean, I was like, a lot of people don't wear those anymore. And he's like, yeah, it's a job requirement, man. And
the guy working at the
working at the hotel.
You had me so confused. Sorry. Was going. I thought it was just a dude.
No.
Some random guy that was at the hotel.
No,
I'm like,
this is a guy working at the hotel. Like
maybe he's getting married.
As I said, total fish out of water guy. Like
that's pretty funny.
Guy who's like you would never ever see this guy wearing a suit coat.
So if I can break the story down for listeners, what he's saying is he walked into some little hotel in Redneck, Wyoming.
It was Nebraska.
The guy working or
it was
Nebraska.
A nice place.
Jeff cannot get the state correct at all.
No,
he was
first I'm in Iowa, then I'm in
Wyoming for part of the trip. He was in Wyoming for part of the trip, so I assumed this was when you were on the road.
I was on the road. I don't normally stay in hotels when I'm home.
That's what I'm saying. I assumed you're on the road, and you said you were in Wyoming, so I assumed it was there. The point being, you're in some redneck town in the Midwest, and you walk in, and they're making the people that work there dress up like older days.
I did not know that.
The bellhops and everybody dressed up.
Yes, I did not know that.
Now.
No, it's not even a joke. I mean, it's a joke because I'm having to explain Mathis's story.
You shouldn't have to explain it though, because when you explain it, it's just not as funny.
You're mansplaining.
It wasn't. It wasn't funny to begin with because I didn't know what was happening. First, I thought you walked into the wrong hotel room.
You don't even know what's happening, anyways. So.
That's
a good point.
It's now got completely off. We're gone.
Good point.
So anyway,
I don't know. It's weird.
Is this
weird,
tombstone?
But whatever.
Is this tombstone in this article? Was going to be my next question.
Personally, I think that Aaron's right that this is basically just a marketing ploy because I mean she's taking freaking selfies for heaven's sake.
Yep.
She sells her stuff online.
Yeah.
This is probably all because they were like, you know what? If she wants to live with the etiquette and certain things that happened back in the 1950s, like I have read etiquette books, which you can obviously tell. But I'm just saying, like
nothing sunk in.
There are certain things. There are certain things that I think we have lost as a society that are way, way engrossed into the 1950s, 1960s, and that we lost coming on to like the 70s, where it's like, there's certain way that people should act. There's certain things that people should do that are just nice. Just as being nice, and if she wants to do this, more power to her. I don't think it's quite as engrossing as it appears to be. I think it's just most of it's just for the article and just to kind of shock and awe value of probably helping her business.
So
But I don't think it's
if anyone's
quite as
interested in a
crazy.
dress, $250 seems to be the low price.
Is that going to fit you though?
Unfortunately, no. She doesn't
After
really
the
have
weight
a
loss,
size.
after the weight loss contest, it may fit him.
$30 for a
Aaron
pattern
will
to make
now
this.
be running the race in a 1950s.
I
dress.
don't think so.
with pearls in the elbow length gloves.
As
Yes.
he's
You guys wish. You guys
as
wish.
he's
That
hiking
would
his
be
record player
epic.
along with him on his back.
Epic. So, all right. I don't even.
This is
We
okay.
beat that one. So, other side of the whole. Well, I guess this is more income equality.
Yeah,
than
this
even
is
like male,
income
female.
equality. Yeah, no, it is. It is. CEO implements equal pay
Interesting.
and increases
For
employees pay to $70,000
Jeez.
By 2024.
by
So it's just
2024.
kind of like the government stuff. This will cut $10 trillion over
Yeah.
the next trillion
Yeah.
years.
This is a credit
$10
card
a year.
processing company. Cut the ribbon on its new office space in Idaho with a surprise raise for its employees. They are going to all employees making less than $70,000 a year will be put on a plan to increase their salaries by $70,000 by 2024. This is a Fox
How many employees
13.
Are we talking about?
And they immediately got a $10,000 raise.
Yeah, immediately $10,000 raise. This is Seattle-based Gravity Payment.
Didn't some other CEO do this a couple years ago? Well, like his
Yeah.
company went out of business because it
So-
wasn't sustainable.
Some of these things where everybody makes the same amount have gone out of business because there's no difference. There's no reason to strive
incentive.
to achieve, no incentive to strive to do any better. He apparently did this at their headquarters
It's a
in
Seattle-based
2015,
company.
and his company is still around. That I am
Interesting.
shocked at. Now, interestingly enough, listen to this. I don't think they get the irony in these two sentences. So, the proponent of income equality first made headlines in 2015 for raising salaries to $70,000 for all employees at the company's headquarters. But wait, two sentences later, to make this happen, Price reportedly took an 80% pay cut, lowering his salary to $130,000. So not
Okay.
everybody at the headquarters was making $70,000 because he's still making double that. So you see what I'm saying there?
Yeah.
Also, how much was he paying? So 130,000
80%. Yeah.
was only 20% of what he was making.
But again, how many people are we talking about in this company? That's what I want.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Are we talking about like 100 people? Are we talking like 3,000, 12,000? That's what I want to know. Somebody,
It's clearly not that many.
right?
He was making $650,000, Jeff. Which is
Matt.
pretty. It's pretty.
I mean, that's pretty modest for a
pretty
CEO,
modest
I'm
for
just
a.
saying.
Well, I don't make $650,000.
Oh, that's because you're giving it away.
That's unfortunate. I'm giving it away to my employees. I hope they love me.
It's an interesting concept. And if he can make this sustainable, then more power to him. I mean, that's nice, but I don't see that this is going to be very sustainable unless he's got. I mean, unless he is an extremely charismatic and great businessman, and his employees have a good work ethic.
Well, and here's
he's
the thing.
able to maintain that, because you're right. Like, whenever you equal out everybody, the incentive is gone.
When he did this last time, he said, "I'm actually taking my salary down to the minimum salary," which is interesting because he didn't take it down to the minimum, but to the minimum salary until after our profit goes back up to where it was before we made this policy change. So
he's kind of betting on that
maybe
they're gonna be doing
supposedly
better at some point.
their profits went up. The trouble is how much more is their product going to cost than it would have to cost, and then is that going to eventually price their product out of the market?
Maybe.
So again, I don't think any of us have any problem with some CEO deciding to do this with his company if that's what he wants to do.
Right.
It's his company. Do what you want to do with
I
it.
have to say that I am rather glad that where they found the money was that he took a pay cut.
A good chunk of the money. At
Right.
least.
They hired, by the way,
that seems
100
very-
people. 100 people is how many people they
At the
hire.
new place or
Total.
They have 100.
Yeah, 100.
So
it's not huge, not a huge company yet.
and he looks like the class. Like you watch Parks and Rec, Grizzle at the end, like the dude's like, do you see the picture of this guy? He looks like one of the dudes from Grizzle on Parks and Rec, like the long hair.
He could be a Nickelback.
And
is that him? That's him. Good grief.
That's him.
I think so.
That's him there in the picture.
It makes sense. I can see this. Yeah.
But again, if it's what he wants to do, great, and more power to him. I don't think long term it's a sustainable model for a company. Maybe for the size of his company it is.
Yeah.
But,
I think this is much more sustainable as a small business than it is as a big business.
And it's sustainable because it's their choice. It's not foisted upon them by the government. So
exactly.
The market can still do what the market will do.
Right. And I think, it all has to do with, I think you're right, about being a small company. You have way more influence over 100 people than, say, like some company that has 350,000 people or 40,000 people, where you're going to have those people that you can directly influence each day to try and, make it more of not a family business, but get them into caring about the business as being theirs.
They claim that there was a baby boom in employees at the business because so many more people felt more financially secure and so had children.
That's interesting.
After he implemented that.
Interesting.
It's a very It's.
I wonder if this is one of those companies where you can bring your dog to work. I bet you it is.
I bet it is.
It looks like a super millennial company. Which again, if that's what you want to do, cool. More power to you.
I want to work for a company that has a masseuse on call. That's what I need.
Oh, now we're talking.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, ignition, liftoff.
It depends upon what the meaning of the word is.
Yes.
Teach a child to read, and he or her will be able to pass a literacy test.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
And the fact that he is wrapping his arms around Putin while Putin is continuing to advance into Korea.
Wrong.
Stop the world, guys. I want off.
Okay.
Is Portland insane or am I insane? Because I got this weird thing.
The answer to that question,
I think the answer is yes.
I win. All right.
Oh, my goodness gracious, gentlemen.
I ignored it because it said Portland.
KGW8 NBC out of Portland, Oregon reports that the city of Portland has banned urinals in the remodel of Portland building.
This is a bad idea.
Portland. I guess this is their big like, their big town building. Like,
these people obviously don't live with anybody else in their home. They obviously do not have men and women in their home.
I like this. I like this part of the article. Urinals. This is a quote from the article from KGW8. Urinals, for those who have never been in a men's bathroom, are porcelain receptors without seats or lids that allow men to quickly relieve themselves. Apparently, though,
Apparently,
though,
know what that is.
Apparently, these porcelain receptors are sexist.
Well, and here's the
they
goofy
are.
part.
They absolutely are. They're meant for one sex.
Well, but here's the weird part. So, in an email to employees, they wrote, "We will continue to have gender-specific male and female multi-stall restrooms that are readily available to any employee that prefers to use one, but there'll be no urinals in any restroom in the building. This will give us the flexibility we need for any future changes in signage."
This is so
What
stupid.
future change in signage would you need? Also, who else? Okay, if you walk in a bathroom somewhere in public, you're going through an airport, you're at a restaurant, whatever. You walk in a bathroom, and you turn the corner, if you don't see a urinal in about how long does it take you? Like a half second, a third of a second, like 3 seconds? If you don't see one, do you start to freak?
I stare at the sign the whole time going in, going, this is the men's, right? This is the men's.
And still, if I don't see a urinal when I turn the corner, I freak because I'm like, crap, I walked in the wrong one. Like total fear, okay?
I just own it, guys. I just own it.
It's true. Honestly, have you ever walked in? All right, so like at a theme park, I've had this happen in Georgia where like at Stone Mountain, Georgia anyway, to be accurate. And after the light show is done and everybody's leaving all at once, like you have the big line for the women's bathroom and then you have the shorter line for the men's bathroom. And then you're at a urinal and all of a sudden, like, this just brave woman just walks in because she's like, I'm not standing in line. And you're just like,
I've not had that happen yet.
Oh yeah,
so
I've had that happen.
Yeah.
So she just decides to use a stall in the men's room because she just got to go
because she knows like most of the men aren't using the stall in the men's room.
I mean, I can't say I approve that. I
have seen it and it's terrifying.
I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do. I guess
it's terrifying.
I don't
always
know.
These big burly women too. It's just like, hey, you're like,
I don't know. I really think this is an American culture thing.
I don't understand the point
it's
in
ridiculous.
having separate gendered bathrooms but not having a urinal in it.
I think
even if you think you can
to the time when they're not going to have separate bathrooms.
Yeah, I think that's the thing.
I think that's ideally what they're looking forward to.
Okay, but even then, why can't? If you think you're a woman who's plumbed like a man, why can't you still? You're going to have a mess. It's going to be more money and more cleaning for the janitorial
got
staff.
Me on that one.
Sorry, I just blew right past it. I was going with it. Like, you know what I'm saying?
No,
like,
you're right.
If guys are going to choose to use the stall toilets the same way they normally use the urinals, standing up.
Here's what's
how long before there's an office memo that comes out that says lift up the seats?
Right, exactly.
That's what
I'm telling you.
It's going to be a mess.
This is not going to work. Have you ever been into a house where everybody uses the same bathroom? You have women yelling at men all the time to put the freaking toilet seat down.
So
and you don't think that's going to happen? Like, this is going to ruin this
no, it's not going to happen right now.
No, it is.
They're separate bathrooms, but it's just going to be a mess.
It's the city of Portland, man. It's the city of Portland.
Well, it's going to go under.
It's going under.
Warming.
It's going under. So
Ben got it.
So widely, this is really a cultural thing, though, because other countries do not have these issues. Other countries do not have separate bathrooms. A lot of other countries do not have separate bathrooms.
Yeah, you said that like we're the only country with separate bathrooms.
We are.
Some other countries don't have separate bathrooms.
Most don't have separate.
Do you guys see the ones
lot in Europe. Like Europe has pay bathrooms, and they're just pay bathrooms. You have to pay to go to the bathroom.
I've heard of that.
Bathrooms. And so
I know that sometimes they have mixed bathrooms, like in hostels and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But
so I've stayed in a place like that. A little weird. But it's like, I don't know. It's just yeah.
Have you guys seen?
They also have nude beaches in Europe. So
well, I'm not saying that everything is perfect. But what I am saying is that a lot of this is a cultural thing to us.
What's cultural and stupid is that urinals, and here's the other thing, urinals usually use less water.
Yeah, I know.
Than a normal toilet for just taking a leak. So
I know.
Someone better bring that up to Portland.
Oh,
hey,
someone already did bring that up to Portland.
You're
Portland was like, never mind.
Or they're like, hey, if it's yellow, let it mellow. Maybe they're just gonna. Is that gonna be the policy? Like
only at Jeff's house.
No, absolutely not.
The whole thing doesn't make any sense at all. It's completely weird.
You know what? I mean, this is why our forefathers fought for the right for us to be able to do this and not be backwards.
Have you ever been to a sporting? So speaking of urinals and bathrooms, have you ever been to a sporting event where the bathroom, like the urinal in the men's room, was basically just one long trough?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yes.
The old Tiger Stadium was that way, and it's just one long trough with like a pipe running along with a little bit of water continually dripping out of it, and you're just like, pick a spot at the trough, and you're like, okay.
Again, cultural thing. Who cares? It's
Right.
like, I guess.
But the point is, I'm not standing next to women.
Well, odds are you're not going to be standing next to women.
But that's not the point of this. Right now, they're still gender separate bathrooms. They're just not putting.
The issue is they're just not putting
probably-
urinals in it, which is
probably just because they haven't come up with a new type of toilet to accommodate everyone.
So here's a question. Here's a question for you.
Because they totally need to be redone.
Yes.
Do you remember how like all the old like elementary school bathrooms, the old high school bathrooms, like they had the tall urinals? They were like from like chest high and they just went all the way to the floor.
Yeah.
With porcelain.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is it just cheaper? Like, why don't they use those anymore? Because you always have to have one or two of the short urinals for like kids or like shorter people now in a bathroom, and it's always annoying if you get stuck with the short one.
Oh no, I always take the short one.
It's the front porch show.
I always,
but I just want to know
debate here.
Why not just use the ones that go to the floor? I mean, if we're going to do bathroom talk, let's do bathroom talk.
No,
I'm guessing it's price.
I always use the short one. I always use a short one.
Well, you are.
My rationale is I do have shorter legs.
You do.
I do have shorter legs, and poor Ozzy, and it reduces the amount of splashback. So based on I'm telling you.
I didn't think this was going there.
Yeah, no. It's a real issue, man. It's a real issue. We
Just
are dealing with the hard-hitting issues on this show.
Imagine how much worse it's going to be when the splashback is,
No, don't. I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
No.
I'm just saying. This is the things that my sisters would complain about were, the toilet seat being wet. And I'm not saying
no.
that
So
was the perfect shot
okay.
Like,
So I go.
I'm just saying.
As I said before, I was traveling the last couple of days. I'm in a Wyoming bathroom. Nice gas station.
Wyoming. This is why I know. Wyoming for the other segment, just so we're clear.
I'm in a nice Wyoming bathroom.
That exists?
Yes.
Sorry, Wyoming.
Oh my goodness.
So you're taking a leak on a pine tree.
So I'm waiting in line, right? And this guy comes out the door, and I go in, and the entire seat is covered. And I'm like, I just saw you walk out. You're a nasty person.
This is what
was it one of those crazy? Was one of those crazy toilets that like when it flushes?
No. This is
like
single
Old Faithful
stall.
Guys are everywhere.
Single stall, like single occupancy.
Yeah.
This was this was yellow. This is straight up yellow.
Okay.
This was not water.
Because I hate that when you leave the stall and it like auto flushes and it flushes and like it's like Old Faithful coming up out of the toilet like guys it leaves it and it looks like you peed everywhere and you're like,
which is horrible when you do a courtesy flush on one of those, by the way. Just
like
saying.
It's like
you're like bidet in there and it's like, whoa. And so I'm like, I'm in there and I've got a guy behind me, right, who's waiting in line behind me. And I'm like,
this is why you bring matches.
I'm like, what do I do here? I'm like, if I leave this here, the guy's gonna think I whizzed on the seat.
You gotta wipe it down. You gotta wipe it down.
So I didn't wipe it down. I just flipped the seat up, and I left it up when I left.
Wow, you're a brave man.
I know. I used toilet paper to lift the seat though, because I was concerned about diseases.
Seat cover or no seat cover?
No, bare bottom.
I don't do the seat covers. We're
getting way too personal, guys.
They're just a hassle. But the weirdest, grossest thing I've ever seen is someone like didn't know that they were flushable.
Yeah.
I didn't know what to do with it, and so there's like one stuff like behind the toilet or something.
Okay, so MythBusters did a thing way back in the day. This is probably back 2004 or something. Toilet seats are actually cleaner than your toothbrush.
Yeah, but is that a public toilet?
Yes.
Number of bacteria versus type of bacteria, though. Like the bacteria that grows in my toothbrush from just not drying it out properly versus the type of bacteria.
From my mouth.
Yeah.
I'm still not willing to lick a toilet seat.
No, I'm not going to lick a toilet seat. But the simple fact is that they're not as dirty as people make them out to be.
I think
probably not because
and pee. I can't believe I'm saying this on the show. Is sterile.
Everyone
sterile.
knew that.
Yeah, it's sterile. Like it's clean. Within reason. It's waste, but it's clean.
Survival
Yeah,
you could actually drink it.
Yeah, we're not. No,
and you could use it to clean wounds.
Yeah, and you can use a snake skin there to
for our survival
saw that
shows.
was not,
there you go.
Ooh, yeah, no.
Y'all, it's gone. This is taking a weird turn. Can we talk about something really positive?
The point is, Portland, you're crazy.
Do we? I mean, should we take a break?
Let's go to break. Let's go to break, and we'll come back.
We can't follow like
we're
that.
going to talk about the the Amber Guyger conviction.
This is going to be the Front Porch Show courtesy flush.
If the audience could only see what I'm seeing here. Ozzy always comes back with an awesome dance, and Jeff just looks like he's
painful. It's painful.
I'm gonna make the sequel to White Men Can't Jump called White Men Can't.
Jeff
Dance.
looks like he's looking for a pole somewhere, which is super creepy.
What?
I mean, I'm not into that, Jeff.
I'm actually watching Michigan recover a fumble against Iowa.
I mean, what you and your wife do at home is fine. Whatever you guys want to do, it's fine. But that,
we already covered it. It's a 1950s article.
I know. I mean, as I said, whatever you guys want to do, it's fine.
What are we doing?
I'm not going to judge.
Here we go.
All right. So every time we try to come back into something serious, Mathis just ruins it.
Derailed.
You gotta bring some levity to it. Awesome story this week. So back, man, it's got to be a year ago now, more than a year ago now. We brought to you the first time the story of Amber Guyger, police officer who entered the wrong apartment and gunned down her neighbor, thinking he was an invader in her apartment.
That is a rough story.
Which is an absolute tragic story.
Yeah.
And everyone was screaming, "Oh, she's a cop. She's going to get off. She's not going to get, any jail time." And like it was
we have seen happen with some things in the past.
That's true.
But everyone was prejudging before they let the case come out, which is always frustrating.
You mean before all the facts come out, we actually have a trial and then make a judgment on what's
exactly
going to happen? It's kind of weird.
Amazing.
Kind of weird how that happens.
So to kind of recap, she hadn't been drinking or anything, correct? She wasn't under the influence of anything. She had just supposedly had a long, rough day at work, was tired and coming home, and entered the wrong, was it the wrong level? Like he was floor 2, she was floor 3 or whatever.
Yeah.
She went down the wrong level of apartments that looked similar, opened the door, which happened to be unlocked, which that I have a question about, and I haven't read those part of the details of the case, because why was she expecting her door to be unlocked? Because
a lot of doors you can stick the key in, turn the key, and it'll turn the knob.
True. If it was the same style key, she tuck it in, and if it's unlocked,
and if it's unlocked, it just turns it. Yeah.
Okay, I could see that because I haven't covered because I
haven't looked into it either.
The case.
I haven't looked into it
either. That would be it.
Too much detail for me.
So, but point being, she was in there and she found someone in her home, and so then she chose to stand her ground. She thought she found someone in her home, and chose to stand her ground and shot. Now, again, I think there was questions because yes, she opened her door and someone was in there. But did he make any aggressive moves toward her? Because, of course, to him, someone's coming through his front door.
Right. With a weapon.
Well,
I mean,
pulls the weapon after they come in.
Right.
But do you remember, Mathis, since you're the one that broke it?
I don't remember. She claims she felt threatened, which is the standard go-to when you're in that situation.
Well, and if I came home and someone was in my house, I would feel threatened too. And of course, if you're the person who someone just walked through your front door, you're going to act threatening because someone just walked through your front door.
She drew firearm and she shot him. I think it was 2 or 3 times, and he passed away.
And I think there was some concern too, as many of us who carry, because I don't know how to say this without getting myself in trouble with one group of people or the other.
It's okay, Jeff. I do it all the time.
That'll be Tombstone at the Front Porch Show.
Exactly. Send it to Tombstone at the Front Porch Show. Unfortunately, a lot of times we see incidents where police officers don't exercise good judgment and it results in injury or some sort of poor choice with a firearm, and they are maybe excused for some reason, and the excuse is qualified immunity or something to do with their job, in instances where concealed carriers would not receive the same excuse in the exact same instance. And I think that's why everyone was watching this one closely.
Right.
Because as a concealed, we understand all the mistakes that were made, but as a concealed carrier, the police would just argue, well, you're not as well trained and you should have paid attention to your surroundings. And there's a bunch of other hurdles you'd have to clear, right? And so it's a tragedy that happened. I was curious on your guys' take. So, it's my understanding she was convicted of second-degree murder.
She was second-degree murder, which is murder with intent.
That's my question. I was just reading the differences because my initial thought was that it should have been manslaughter, but I don't know as I'm reading the differences. And what are your takes on that? Do you think it should have been murder? Do you think it should have been manslaughter?
So murder 2 is manslaughter. As I understand it, murder 2, second-degree murder is non-premeditated killing, which results from the assault.
But it's different than manslaughter. So I've got the definitions pulled up here.
Oh, so you got manslaughter pulled up too?
And it changes by jurisdiction in different states necessarily. But in general, in the United States, you have, let's see here. It describes it. There's several different things that fall under homicide, including justifiable homicide. Here's the different degrees of murder. You have, here we go. So the most common, so it says states have adopted several different schemes for classifying murders by degree. The most common separates murder into 2 degrees, first and second, and then treats voluntary and involuntary manslaughter as separate crimes that did not constitute murder.
Okay.
So under
I can tell you the reason.
Under this general scheme, first degree is, like you said, intentional, willful, premeditated murder. That's felony murder.
Yeah.
Right.
Second degree is intentional murder with malice aforethought, but not premeditated or planned in advance. So
yeah, okay. So I have the reason for you.
It happens in an instant, but you do it intentionally and with malice.
Not
Voluntary
necessarily.
Manslaughter. That's what this description. Now, again,
I understand, but there's another caveat to that. The caveat is it can also, second-degree murder can also cover situations where the defendant is engaged in extreme reckless disregard for human life.
That would be...
Which is where I think she gets pinched because she entered the wrong apartment.
Well, but here's this. So there's involuntary manslaughter, a killing that stems from lack of intention to cause death, but involving an intentional or negligent act leading to death. Drunk driving. Related death is typically involuntary manslaughter.
I think the difference is that she entered someone's
causing
apartment.
death by criminal negligence. No, so because it says see also gross negligence manslaughter or causing death by criminal negligence for international equivalence.
But I think it was that act of her entering the wrong apartment that got her with that.
But she didn't
reckless intent. Like if you get in a car drunk, I hate saying this, your intent is not to kill someone.
Exactly.
You're an absolute idiot. Her intent wasn't to kill anyone either, but the fact that she was completely reckless when she went into that apartment.
But you don't get murder too for drunk driving. You get involuntary manslaughter.
I know.
So the question might come down to the fact that the act of entering the apartment was reckless, but then the choice to draw the gun and shoot was intentional.
Right.
This is where I thought voluntary manslaughter would come in. A voluntary manslaughter, sometimes called a crime of passion murder, is any intentional killing that involves no prior intent to kill and which was committed under such circumstances that would cause a reasonable person to become emotionally or mentally disturbed.
Take for instance the guy who
So there's all of a sudden a guy in his house.
There was a guy in Texas who killed a guy who was raping his daughter, 5-year-old daughter.
Yeah, so that would be voluntary manslaughter.
And he murders this guy. He pummels this guy.
Yeah, that would be voluntary
realizes the
manslaughter.
guy's dying, calls 911.
Right.
And he was taken to trial for murder too, is it? Or for manslaughter too?
This is voluntary manslaughter.
That was involuntary manslaughter. He's taken voluntary. So he gets taken to jail for that, goes to trial. The jury nullified it.
See, and
they had the same thing happen in Georgia where they had a guy who was his daughter was getting grabbed. Like they were getting in the car and his young daughter was getting grabbed and somebody was trying to make off with her and he shot the guy and killed him.
Yeah.
And then he was completely
now see that because if you fear death sexual assault, grave bodily harm for you or others if it's a stand the ground state. So the point being, so it gives examples. So it says, for example, in this I think might be why. This will explain right here, and this is where I think it points me away from manslaughter. But I didn't understand this difference before. So here's the example given. For example, a bar fight that results in death would ordinarily constitute second-degree murder. So it's a fight that resulted in death.
Okay.
If the same bar fight stemmed from a discovery of infidelity, however, it may be mitigated to voluntary manslaughter. So if you just got arguing about the football game and fought and someone died, that's just a fight. If you came into the bar angry because this guy's cheating, with your wife, it's that mentally disturbed part.
Okay.
It's the crime of passion part. If it's in other words, that will not get to manslaughter if something happened in an instant that maybe even justifiably made you so angry you attacked the person. That's where finding someone in your home probably falls on the borderline, because you talk about emotionally or mentally disturbed. You're not actually emotionally or mentally disturbed, but in an instant, you think you found someone in your home. I don't know that murder is the right answer, but obviously the judge had to direct some of that stuff, and so obviously in that state, that's what it is.
I'm not a lawyer, nor do I play one on the radio, but your explanations sound very good.
So here's the question. So here's the question. Do you think, because she got 10 years, right? 10 years.
Yeah,
right.
10 years for this.
Right.
What do you think of that punishment?
I hear a lot of people screaming that it's not long enough because she destroyed this guy's life. I sit there and say,
I think it's hard to tell, because I think offhand, I think it's justifiable and I think it's fine.
I think
because of it didn't seem to be like she had anything against the guy. I mean, just going off of what I've read or seen, it didn't seem like she had anything against the guy. It wasn't premeditated.
Yeah.
I mean, she could have been coming off of like a 10-hour, 12-hour shift or whatever, and then all of a sudden you see somebody, you're a cop, maybe she has had problems in the past with people threatening her or something, and maybe she thought it was somebody that she put away. You know what I mean? That broke into her house or something like that. Maybe the guy was being aggressive because she was in his house.
Which he's fully justified in being aggressive.
Right,
and
correct. But I'm saying, looking at it from her perspective,
I think you're going down the right.
You have somebody who's being aggressive towards you, and you think it's your house, and you're a cop. And personally, that would be my opinion, is that, oh my gosh, like this dude is probably, something happened at some point and somebody broke into my house. And maybe that they're there for me to try and kill me because I'm a cop.
Yeah, and I don't know if that played into it or not. I think it's right, though. For people saying she could have got more, then what do you want, 15 years?
Yeah,
I think you're right.
Ridiculous.
With the incident that happened and with the remorse that's shown, it obviously wasn't intentional. It's a terrible tragedy, and she's going to live with that for the rest of her life.
I want to play this video here. This is Botham Jean's brother.
And so, what we're trying to get to here is what he's about to play, which is some of the good that has come out of this.
This is probably one of the most impactful videos I've seen in a long time. Like heartwarming, heartfelt.
Yeah,
like it's
quite incredible seeing it come out of a courtroom, to be honest with you.
I don't want to.
Now this is the brother on the stand.
Yeah,
for the 100th time, what how much you've taken from us. I think you know that. But I just...
And he's talking directly to her.
I hope you go to God with all the guilt, the bad things
sorry about that
in the past. Each and every one of us may have done something that we're not supposed to do. If you truly are sorry, I know I can speak for myself. I forgive you, and I know if you go to God and ask Him, He will forgive you.
He's super nervous as he's saying all this. Like, he's truly torn
just
up.
Emotional.
Yeah.
And I don't think anyone could say it. Again, I'm speaking for myself, not even bad for my family. But I love you just like anyone else. And I'm not gonna say I hope you rot and die just like my brother did, but I personally want the best for you. And I wasn't gonna ever say this in front of my family or anyone, but I don't even want you to go to jail. I want the best for you. Because I
can't believe he's holding it
that's
together.
exactly what both of them would want you to do.
Right.
And the best would be give your life to Christ. I'm not going to say anything else. I think giving your life to Christ would be the best thing that both of them would want you to do. Again, I love you as a person. And I don't wish anything bad on you. I don't know if this is possible, but can I give her a hug, please?
That right there, what in the world? I mean, it's like,
please.
Wow.
Yeah, it's incredible.
This is...
Yes.
The judge is crying at this point, by the way. And she is... Amber is saying something into his ear at this point, and I mean they're talking, and
yep.
Like, I'm sitting here tearing up, guys.
Yeah, I think it's really
it's
incredible.
It's an amazing video. It's an amazing segment in a time when we are so divided over a lot of other things, and you've got black and white here, right? You've got police officer, civilian. You've got these divisions that everyone's trying to pry between people, and so to see a level of forgiveness that's amazing, because it's forgiveness over killing a family member.
Right.
It's pretty touching that that's still out there,
guys. This is
in our country.
And it so should be, like, it should fit every single narrative of every, we've seen this before. This isn't the first time we've seen something like this over the past, 3 years even.
This is faith being shown.
This is all fits every single thing that should make everybody in the country furious.
Well,
you know what I mean? Like
Matt has said,
the whole thing. This is the racial divide.
That's the only thing that makes it possible is the faith. The faith element is the only thing that makes it possible.
Right. And that's what turns everything on its head.
And unfortunately, when you have this beautiful moment out of such a dark thing, it's bringing people together, never fear there's someone out there lurking around to try to make trouble out of it.
Right.
And now you've got morons from the Freedom from Religion Foundation. Because the judge, so after all of this, the judge, after the sentence, after everything's done, not in her official capacity as the judge, but as a human, actually goes and gets her own personal Bible, and gives it to Amber, and encourages her to read it and where to start reading.
Talks with her for a minute or two, and then gives her a hug. It's like, it's incredible.
It's outside of her capacity as a judge. She wasn't. And there can be a different debate on whether any of this should inform it or not, because I think your faith should inform your philosophy. However, there was no rulings made based on something obscure out of the Bible versus law. Right. She acted completely lawfully and within her role as a judge under the oaths and laws that she's under.
Right.
And as a human being offered this other evidence of condolence outside of her position. And they are trying to have her, what is it? They're trying to have her
they're trying to have her disbarred,
disbarred. And this is ridiculous. And this is where we need to call this crap out and not let some basement dwellers from nowhere, Illinois, or wherever Freedom from Religion Foundation is based, put out their little their little nationwide attempt to get a nationwide injunction and put these, cause this problem.
All politics aside, this is true faith being worked out here. Like these two individuals never would have done what they did. The judge and Botham's brother never would have done what they did. Like,
right.
You're not going to see that. This is faith.
It's such an unnatural human thing to do.
Like after I heard the story, I sat there and I tried to decide. Like I tried to put myself in their shoes, and I'm like, I don't think I ever could have done that. Yeah. Like I just don't see that as possible. And it's not that I just don't think, like, I think I could forgive. I just don't think I could reach out the way that they did, And I don't know. I mean, it's truly an amazing story, and hopefully that can encourage us and give us hope in our society. Like, there's still good people out there. Guys, in this day of cell phones, I mean, it's amazing the videos that we end up with. This is Chicago O'Hare Airport has a rogue beverage cart.
They're gonna ban those next. Good old
make
Chicago.
it through TSA.
It starts spinning in circles, guys, and it nearly takes out the airplane. Like, I mean, it is
Airplane,
within.
nothing. I was waiting to watch people start flying.
Well, too.
People almost got nailed because they keep trying to jump in front of it to see how to stop it. I guess like a case of water or something.
I think I would have stood back to figure that out, not like jumped in front of it.
Now I think they keep trying to grab it.
How do I do this
to stop it?
Let's
but
jump in front of it. That's a great idea.
The funny thing is you see the manager come out, right? The manager comes out and he's like, no, step back, guys, step back. And you have this one guy who's like, I don't know who he's just like, I'm going for it. I'm taking this thing out.
Well, because as it's circling, it's getting closer and closer to the aircraft.
Right. And
like, it's about ready to slam.
I mean, you nail that aircraft. It's going to take out
that. The pilots weren't going to do anything.
It's going to take out the front landing gear.
And literally a half second before it does, they slid this guy. Yeah. It was actually a woman, I think. It's hard to tell in the video because it's very grainy.
It was a guy. It was a guy.
Whoever
the guy came out and
they slam the tug into it and tip it over, which is genius, actually, because how else would you get the thing to stop?
Can we talk about something serious here? So how come with the advent of the cell phone and how much video we have, we still have grainy video? How is that even possible anymore?
It's Facebook.
Well, it's got something to do with uploading to Facebook, but you're right. No video I take looks like that on my phone. And then how about security cameras that are just like,
terribly grainy?
Like, the whole purpose of the security camera is to have footage of the crime happening and recognize the people. And it's always like, did you record this on a 1990s? What in the world?
Yeah.
So we have security cameras in our church, and they're pretty good. Except for like in the dark where they're super grainy, and so we have some outside of our church pointed to the outside.
Infrared?
Yes,
which is understandable.
We had lights that weren't working, and anyway, we had some kids came in and had a BB gun war in the parking lot, and took out all the windows on the pastor's car.
Yikes!
At like 2 a.m. in the morning.
Like specifically his car? They didn't.
Not
really
sure. It might have been a crime. It might have been a crime of opportunity.
That's called a hit.
It might have been a crime of opportunity.
They had a BB gun war. Really? Did they? Because it sounds like only one thing was
so
damaged.
they were going after each other. They were going after each other, and then I think the car was just a crime of opportunity.
Nice.
And took out all the windows on the car, and but like it was super grainy, and we could hardly see it. But like it was funny because the next day kids came back and they drove back through to look at the car. And so we were able to get like the car the next day.
You know it was a crime of opportunity.
So we know it was like.
That's so funny.
So the cops have all the records of who drove through the driveway, looking at the car specifically, because like they drove up to the car, looked at it, and then like did a slow circle around it and drove.
It was
out.
not a very forgiving church, are you?
And it was like
the youth pastor with the youth group on an all night youth group activity.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, right. Sorry, Marshall, if you're listening. No, so it was
You've just been implicated.
Yeah. So it was hilarious
so
because one of the kids watching the security videos with us, he's like, "Oh man!" Like when he sees it on the video camera, he's like, "Oh man, that looks like a something, kind of like what I drive." And then he clams up and he's like, and his dad's there, and he's like, he was home all night.
Sure.
And it was like, oh man, poor kid. He implicated himself and didn't even know it.
So
Those are awesome. Good
all
job.
right, so
Great
we're
job.
talking about grainy videos. What other videos do you have? For
Okay,
us?
so
We have
there's
something about some stupid goat.
the goat, Tom Brady.
Oh, yeah.
Did you see what he did?
Nobody really cares.
So he's on the sideline. I don't. Who posted this video, guys?
It was not me.
It wasn't me.
It wasn't me.
I figured it was you. Don't you?
No, it wasn't
you like
me.
The Patriots, don't you?
Yeah, but I didn't do this video. Who did this?
I thought it was
must have been-
you.
it must
They
have
also
been
labeled
Tombstone.
it.
I didn't do it.
No, see, I'm super weird now. I'm super
Maybe it
weirded
was-
out now.
Maybe it was
Let's
me.
see. It wasn't me, you, or the other person that we're talking to at
No,
this point in time. But there's
it
one
definitely
person
wasn't
that's
Tombstone.
not here.
I might have.
Yeah, but
I might have thrown
Tombstone-
this one. I might have thrown this one in early in the week.
Tombstone hates football so much that he wouldn't do this. So
I might have
anyways,
thrown it in early in the
Anyway,
week, and I
so-
called it the
so-
goat because we know you're the Patriots fan.
Tom Brady is standing on the sidelines, and he's messing around with a guy.
I had to say this is actually
It's Ninkovich or whatever.
Is it Winovich or is it No, it's Matthews. It's Clay. It's Clay Matthews. isn't it?
Wikovich.
no, it's Wikovich.
His name says Wikovich on the back.
Winovich then.
Winovich. Anyways,
Whatever.
Tom Brady has a pair of scissors and he clips off the tag on Winovich's jersey.
I thought he took his hair.
No,
I thought he took some of
no.
his hair. I thought he took some of his hair off too.
Was it? Did
I don't
he?
know.
All right.
Was it?
Well, that's what
Maybe it
because
was.
Winovich played at Michigan and it's got really long.
You know, it
blonde
would
hair.
be help if this video wasn't grainy. Facebook.
Exactly.
I know. Seriously.
Well, maybe it is. Maybe it is just. Maybe
No,
his
it-
tag was sticking out and he just cut the tag off.
I don't know
for
because
him.
he hands
I can't
him.
tell. I can't,
Oh
can't
yeah,
tell.
It's
it
hair.
looks like a tag. It looks like a.
Whatever he clips off, like he's standing in front of him. So we need to find out whoever has the other video because I'm sure there were like 53 people doing the same video.
More than likely. Anyways, Winovich thinks it's hilarious, and Brady's just yucking it up. So,
Yeah.
anyways,
I thought it was hair. So we'll have to get an update because I'm sure people have talked about it way too much.
that's right.
There's Mathis's hard hitting facts. They get mad when I try to figure out the penal code of Texas, but so hard hitting
confusing.
facts. The whether it was hair or a tag for you.
Yeah. And
What's
why
his
the heck
rogue
is
bowl?
everything
Now, this is courtesy of Ben out of South Carolina. Listener Ben, thanks for sending this over to us. I don't even know if I actually responded back to you, which I feel
that's
terrible about that.
Awesome. We finally get one listener to participate in something,
Hey,
this is the thanks you get.
Ben is
Right here.
Ben is an incredibly active listener. Okay,
yes.
He
He's responsible for
videos
97% of our
a lot.
downloads.
He sends a lot of stuff, a lot of news
And
articles
this
that
is
he
the
wants us
first
to comment
time
on.
that you're actually acknowledging that he doesn't.
No,
hear this?
I've acknowledged it a couple times.
That's why we
couple
can't get
times.
any people to listen.
I know. This is a great story out of Baltimore. 1,600-pound bull escapes from a truck into the streets of Baltimore.
Is that a tranquilizing dart?
It is.
Test?
They tagged
Obviously,
this guy.
it's not working.
They ended up tagging this guy with 3 tranquilizer shots. Have you guys ever tranked a bull?
I love how it broke out while it was just stopped at a red light. Like the
this
truck's
is
just
no
stopped
bull.
at a red light and the bull just takes
Bolts.
off.
Animals, it takes a while for them to go down after being tranked. Like I've seen it done several times, and it is not a very fast acting situation.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's got to get through the bloodstream, I would imagine.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to get to the heart, which is the big thing, obviously. And so it's no surprise that it took 3 shots.
And that's no bull.
The funny thing is, this guy's not that big.
I clicked the link, which is a tweet that this initially was in. First comment under the tweet: "We need the zoo and 3 tranquilizers yesterday on a certain individual at the White House."
Yeah, it went political.
Literally,
he doesn't have the best disposition.
Seriously?
Same thing we say about our president. Yeah, it's just it immediately went political.
Also, that guy's probably being investigated now.
Could be.
Ooh, the implications. Probably some Russian.
I like this guy. I like this guy. Legend has it he sparked a revolution.
It's hilarious that we get an amazing story about a bull rampaging through the streets of Baltimore, and we go to Twitter to get all the hard hitting. I expect nothing less of us.
Did you guys watch Did you guys watch Ferdinand the Bull?
I don't think I
was a kid. I read the
book.
That's where that reference is going there, buddy.
Which reference? Say it again.
The Starting Revolution.
Oh, Starting Revolution.
Yeah, no, nothing.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
No. I didn't watch Ferdinand. I read the book a long time ago as a kid.
Yeah, I don't know.
You guys are illiterate.
Yeah, probably.
We didn't watch a movie.
Yep. So
we're illiterate because we did. If you teach them to read, they can pass a literacy test.
That's right.
And that's no bull.
Just end it now.
Unemployment is low because everyone has 2 jobs.
She got them realtor eyes.
We're gonna flip this seat red in November.
I can always tell by realtor eyes. She got them.
I think she's living in banana land.
I am not the expert on geopolitics.
I think that there's a lot of people more concerned about being precisely, factually, and semantically correct than about being morally right.
How are you the boss for coming up with a plan that doesn't work?
Is it okay to still have children?
I personally believe some people out there in our nation don't have that, and I believe that our education, such as in South Africa and the Iraq, everywhere such as, and
well, yeah, guys, when we're actually going to video, in the near future, and we're actually live.
Mine's gonna be blurred out.
Yeah, we're gonna have to permanently censor Ozzy. Permanently censor Ozzy. And Jeff is
he's completely
Jeff
gone.
Is gone.
I'm ignoring.
He's been dealing with my annex since college, so which was actually realistically that was what 14 years ago.
Yeah, it's be old.
Depending on which year, over a decade ago.
No, I'm talking about when we were freshmen and I met you third day or something like that.
Yeah, because that's when I had Jeff in my room.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it is 2019.
Yeah, that was
I believe we graduated in 2010.
Yeah.
So over a decade ago.
Because they were my last roommates I ever had.
Now you're explaining. You're explaining.
Well, the reason you never went back.
It's true. It's honestly true.
I'll take it.
Guys, do you want to know how to save the world?
Here. Let's do it. Wow. How?
How do you save the world? We eat the babies.
Where's the audio?
Hold on. I'm bringing up the audio right now. This is off C-SPAN. C-SPAN gives us the and Ryan Setivaria or something. I don't even know how to pronounce the guy's name.
What?
Anyways, this is at an Alexandria Ocasio. I always get her name wrong.
Just say AOC.
AOC.
Dude. Here for much long because of the climate crisis. We only have a few months left. I love that you support the Green Deal, but it's not getting rid of
she's
fossil
totally
fuel.
a troll,
It's
guys.
not going to solve the problem fast enough. A Swedish professor saying we can eat dead people, but that's not fast enough. So I think your next campaign slogan has to be this: we got to start eating babies. We don't have enough time. There's too much CO2. All of you're a pollutant. too much CO2.
The worst part is some of these people are acknowledging her like she's
so
serious.
Great. I'm so happy that you really support a nuclear deal, but it's not enough. Even if we would bomb Russia, we still have too many people, too much pollution.
That's so
we have
funny.
To get rid of the babies. That's a big problem. Just stopping having babies is not enough. We need to eat the babies, and this is very serious. Please give up.
Now the handler is like, okay, you can sit down now.
Yeah.
We'll go ahead. Okay. We'll go ahead. No.
This is so funny.
Thank you.
They're removing her from the room at this point?
Well, they're asking her to leave, but AOC is like,
one of the things that's very important to us is that
security's
we
there
need to
now.
treat the climate crisis with the urgency that it does present.
Oh, and they're letting her just sit down.
Luckily, we have more than a few months. We do
That's
need
because
to
they can't tell if she's crazy
net
or not.
zero
That's why.
in several years.
They can't tell if she's trolling them or not.
Oh, guys, it is an absolute epic troll.
It's clear. It's very clearly.
Is it?
And here's. It is. It's got to be. It's very.
It was a troll. It was a troll.
Yeah,
No,
it's
I'm
very
not saying it's not
clearly
a
someone
troll.
acting out and trolling them.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying though is she did it so expertly that they can't tell. That's why they didn't drag her off.
That's
kind
of true.
They can't tell if she's really being
And that's
serious
exactly. Well, that's
or not,
exactly.
which makes it so much more epic.
That's why the troll. That is the whole point of the troll, is to prove that like they're so determined to acknowledge all opinions and not offend anyone. And even if we think you're crazy, we can't say we think you're
Absolutely.
crazy. And then some of us don't think you're crazy.
Right.
And
that's why you have people who can't decide whether or not they should agree with her, and they're like,
I still don't know what I think of this tactic, though. Like,
I think it's ridiculous. I think it's ridiculous. Bad idea.
No, I'll just. I said I don't know what I think of this tactic. I was like eating babies. No,
I would have to say morally, I have to disagree.
I know what I think of that tactic. This trolling tactic.
Yeah.
While it is funny, it doesn't help the situation at all.
No.
In some trolls are important to point out the cognitive dissonance and the insanity and stuff like that. The frustrating thing, it also points out how many people on our side believe this is real.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That believe that this is a very serious person.
Right. That they're viably serious. Viably serious.
I shared a status from an author I follow, which I found pretty funny the other day. Even though I knew this was pretty much an epic troll, here's his. He's like 2020 slogans. Democrats, we want to take your guns and eat babies. Also socialism, you racist. Republicans, we may be dumb and corrupt, but we're less crazy than those other guys.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's a hilarious troll. Some Democrat friend of mine comments, the such and such a PAC admitted that Eat the Babies Stop Climate Change lady was them trolling.
Yeah, no
I
kidding.
know it's a troll. Matter of fact, hey, I'm covering it on my podcast the next day.
Yep.
In general, though, we want to take your guns. By the way, socialism. It's a funny take by an author I like.
It's like comedy. Comedy is hyperbole. Comedy is hyperbole. You take a nugget and you turn it into something huge and ridiculous.
AKA the Babylon Bee.
Yes. And
Which,
so
did
are
you see the Babylon Bee article that said unable to compete with reality? The Babylon Bee guy starts a real news site.
Yes. So so brilliant. Funny, so
brilliant.
Funny, absolutely brilliant.
I love it. All right.
Ozzy, you sent this thing. So speaking of eating things, you send this amazing article about McDonald's. What are the disturbing facts about McDonald's?
All right, so I just happenstancely came upon this article and then started Googling to find out just how much really McDonald's sells burgers.
I gotta say, some of the articles that you supply the show are just absolute gold, and this
probably means you need a life.
It is. It probably does, but that's good. That's good for the show.
Get away from my 4 kids.
That's good for the show. And so the fact that you dug for these articles, my hat is off to you.
Yeah, it was all of like 12 minutes worth of Google.
But see, 12 minutes is
all right. So
gold.
Here we go with some of these facts. So I came across the fact that, do you know how many hamburgers McDonald's sells per second?
I can't tell you the answer for that because I'm actually looking at that answer right now.
Jeff, take a guess.
75.
Dang it, you hate it.
I opened the article already, too.
So 75 hamburgers per second.
That's a lot of burgers
that they sell.
So how many is that per day?
Well, did you see this? Per day,
incredible.
Per day, it feeds 1% of the world's population.
Yeah, 1%.
And its daily customer traffic is more than the population of Great Britain.
And let's be honest, it sucks.
Yeah, I don't disagree. But
I don't know that it sucks. I mean,
it's not exactly
it's
quality
fast
food.
Yeah,
and to be honest with you, I'm not
you're
sure
not
it's actual
going there
meat
for
either,
quality
but-
food.
That's a good point.
Burger King now has the Impossible Whopper. It just straight up isn't meat.
Dude, all right. I got strong opinions about this. So I think Burger King has been just BSing everybody for the past 20 years and has never actually used meat.
Oh.
Which might be why it doesn't taste different.
Wow.
Why it doesn't
You
taste
want to
different.
talk about an epic troll?
That's
That
amazing.
would be an epic troll
Yeah,
right
and they're
there.
just stuck now. They can't tell everybody that they've been lied to for the past 20 years.
But they're poised to be perfect because everyone will think they're this awesome carbon neutral getting rid of beef.
Exactly. That's where they get all this meat. So
And we all know it's not beef at Taco Bell. So there's just no win there for them to tell us that. Like,
Thank God for horse.
do you remember?
McDonald's.
So I'll let you get back to
All right,
McDonald's real
go for it,
quick,
go
Ben.
for it.
Just do you remember there was a time when Taco Bell had something where it was like 94% pure ground beef or so. They had some campaign where they were listing like the percentage that was.
It's like, what's
ground
the
beef.
other percentage?
But the
I
number
remember-
was just low enough in the 90s that you were like, and they were making the claim the other
Yes,
was the
yes.
spices and whatever. But the number was just low enough in the 90s that you were like, because it wasn't like 98% ground beef. It was like 93 or something.
I remember
like that.
reading an article, and I have not looked this up. But I remember reading an article like years ago, like maybe 10 or 15 years ago, that two of the top competitors for buying meat, that because I guess whenever you get into these large companies, like you have to put bids down for meat from different places.
Oh yeah.
Okay. And one of their top competitors for trying to get the meat that's used for Taco Bell was Purina dog food.
Wait, what?
Yep.
I mean, because you think about it, when you're grinding it up and putting all the spices with it, you can take a really tasteless cut of meat, and that's the same thing that people are thinking you're taking dog food. You're just taking super low quality cuts of meat. Is what you do.
Because you have different quality, different cuts going. Yeah, all that. So how many burgers do you think McDonald's has sold total since opening?
Well, according to their sign, it's 15 billion.
Nope. Keep trying.
It's
Total
gotta be
since
more.
opening. Total since opening. Since opening
30
in
billion.
19 Nope.
It's at a McDonald's I saw the other day. You know how they used to have a number served? The sign just said billions and billions served.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
just what the sign.
Well, that's a good point. So wait, the article says they're selling 6 million per day.
It is estimated that McDonald's, over the course of its opening, has sold over 300 billion hamburgers.
300 billion?
300 billion.
Dang, that's a lot of
You
hamburgers.
guys are making me hungry, by the way.
Me too.
Isn't that insane?
Wow.
It's insane how much this company has sold. Like, that's nuts.
That's so crazy.
That's nuts. I mean, can you imagine, like, the I think they said they go through, McDonald's goes through 190,000 pounds of beef a day.
And let's just say that's beef in quotes.
Right. Beef a day. But still, I mean, even if you're talking about like the quarter pounder, that's actually more like, 1/8 pounder. But that is crazy.
That's
crazy.
That's nuts. That's a lot.
70 million pounds a year.
Wow. That's incredible.
Insane.
Any other random facts about McDonald's we need to know?
I think that was it.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. That's it.
Hey, that was loud. Sorry, folks.
Burger time.
We'll be right back.
She said, oh, man, the building is on fire. I said, no, what? I got my 3 kids and we bounced out. We ain't gonna be in no fire. Not today.
The fact that they purchased the machine meant somebody had to make the machine. And so when somebody makes a machine, it means there's jobs at the machine-making place.
He's not wrong.
But glad to get out of here with a win. This is a tough place to do it. And, you know, once in a while, a pirate can beat a soldier, you know?
We've been covering the Hurricane Dorian relief effort in the Bahamas pretty closely, and I don't know why. It's just absolutely intriguing to all of us. And
yes,
we've talked about the guy up in Flint, Michigan, or from Texas, who's up in Flint, Michigan, making water from, extracting water from the air,
which is super cool.
So amazing. Like I started following his Facebook page.
That's the Batman Begins stuff right there.
The dude is a rock star. The dude is an absolute rock star. And so he's moving his equipment to the Bahamas to provide from Flint to provide water to the people in the Bahamas. Yeah. Since, Flint actually has some water. It's not great water, but Bahamas just has none. And so anyways, the Siesta Key Oyster Bar in Sarasota, Florida, the employees, what do they do? Like they're just hanging dollar bills. So I've been into places like this.
How did it start?
Yeah.
That's the question I think you're asking.
Let's see.
I have been into places like this where you walk in and there's like dollar bills hanging all over the place.
Yeah, it says customers staple a dollar bill or two onto the wall for a laugh and to help decorate the place.
Yeah.
It sounds like it was just like somebody just did it.
So this just wasn't started for a hurricane relief. Like this had been going on for a while.
This is just sounds like just a tradition. Like you go to this bar and you staple money on a wall.
Yeah. I've seen this in places before, and it's kind of hilarious because a lot of times people leave a personalized message on the dollar bill.
Right.
And it's like cute, it's funny, and sometimes questionable.
And they have a photo of the place, and it is, every beam, every column.
It is plastered.
Dollars on top of dollars.
Covered.
The place is plastered. It's crazy.
Bills. And so they took and decided that they were going to take some money off the wall to help with the relief, with the hurricane relief. And so I guess Kristen Hale brought the wads of cash. The general manager there brought the wads of cash into the bank, and it totaled up $13,961.
That's incredible. Congratulations to the Siesta to the Siesta Key Bar.
Yeah,
$14,000. Good grief.
That's super cool. That is super cool. So
that's cool. Thank you guys. That's
an awesome thing to be able to do, because like what to do with that money, and that's something that nobody's going to get angry about them doing. And
this isn't the first time that they've done this. They have also donated $7,000 or $8,000 to different causes in the past.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
From the money on the walls,
So then it's kind of become a thing, so people that know they go there can their money is going to go to something.
It's going to go to something eventually.
Great. That is super cool. So
that's awesome.
Kudos to them, because that's a cool thing.
Very, very cool.
So.
I don't understand this headline, Ozzy.
The Chick-fil-A one?
It says Chick-fil-A is slowest.
Yep.
Like Dunkin' has the fastest drive-through. Chick-fil-A is the slowest.
Because it doesn't make any sense.
I don't understand that, because I go through a Chick-fil-A drive-through. Now, Chick-fil-A drive-thrus are packed now. More so than they have been in the past.
They're always packed, but they flow people through like crazy.
Yes.
Right. So, all right, here we go. So the article it's actually a video in an article. It is from a CBS, local CBS station that apparently did the test.
This is a CBS Dallas-Fort Worth.
So they found out that customers spend, I guess it was a performance study from Restaurant Trade Publication Magazine, yada, yada. Anyway, whatever. So they covered the story. Customers spend an average of 255 seconds this year going through basically getting from the speaker where you do the ordering to the window where they give you the food.
Now, how much time? So 255 seconds. How long is that?
I have no
that is
math
divided by 60.
3, 4. That's 4, 5, 6.
4.25 minutes.
Yeah,
so
4
almost
1/4
4.5 minutes.
Right.
Okay. Ooh, super long.
Right, which is not
That's not great.
not great.
Not great.
And so apparently that's 20 seconds longer than in 2018, in case you cared. So we're getting slower just on average.
Okay.
So here's
how long
the
long
problem I see with that.
So okay, here we go. Dunkin' is apparently the fastest because literally all they have to do is pour, coffee into something and hand you a pre-made donut. So their average is 216 seconds. Chick-fil-A's had the longest out of, I think they did like 4 different drive-thrus, or 4 different restaurants. Sorry.
Okay, that I see as a problem.
At 322 seconds. So first off, the thing that gets me is that, because I am definitely an advocate of Chick-fil-A, so Dunkin' Donuts, you suck.
Not that there's any opinions on this show.
Right. But what I'm saying though is like, you're looking at literally like, what does a Dunkin' Donuts person have to do? Like, that's probably 216 seconds. That's probably really, really bad for Dunkin' Donuts. Because literally you have to fill coffee.
They order food nonsense there now too, though.
Yeah, like
people
a bagel
make like
sandwich.
egg sandwiches, and I think they might even have some lunch items now. I know Tim Hortons does.
Is it all pre-made though, or is this stuff that like
it's got to pop into the fryer or be run through some heater or something?
The other thing is how many customers are we talking about accommodating at once?
My problem here is the time window that's being measured is from the order to the pay window, right?
Right.
That's what the time. So the trouble is.
But again,
so yes, you get to the food
ordering at Dunkin'
no
to a Chick-fil-A.
But it doesn't at Taco Bell. There's nobody in the flipping drive-through at
they're
at
slow as heck.
7 p.m.
Oh yeah,
they're terrible.
You roll
they're terrible.
Up, there's nobody there. No, listen to me.
And
this
you're
is
still
why the
waiting.
number. This
You're
is
still
listen
waiting.
to me.
Yeah.
This is why the number is skewed because you roll up. You order your food, you immediately drive to the pay window with no one between you for a wait of like 10 seconds, and then you sit there and wait for 14 minutes for your food to come out of the window.
And that's what I feel like they're doing at
That's
Dunkin'
why
Donuts
it's
too,
got to be like that's why it's different.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying with Dunkin' Donuts. You're talking about like they have certain rush hours, and not that Chick-fil-A doesn't, but I would say on average there are way more people that are going to be at a Chick-fil-A for longer periods of the day, throughout the day. Dunkin' Donuts, they're trying to get into, afternoon, picking up a sandwich or whatever else. But in general, Dunkin' Donuts is a morning thing.
Well, again, Dunkin' Donuts and Chick-fil-A are apples and oranges. You can't. I don't think you're really like it needs to be Taco Bell, Burger King, McDonald's, Chick-fil-A.
Right. So we have this Chick-fil-A in Bellevue, Nebraska, and it's my favorite Chick-fil-A in the state. We've got like, half a dozen of them, and I get in line and place my order. There is no waiting. Like as soon as I place my order, and they're packed. They're always packed. I get over to the behind the first car in the window. That first car's already pulling out. I pull up. I can't get my card out fast enough to pay them. And they're done. They're absolutely done. So, well,
that's because there's nobody at your Chick-fil-A in Iowa.
That's because I'm not in Iowa.
Here's
no.
Here's the other thing.
They are packed.
Here's the other thing, though. Usually they take, when they get busy, they take your order and take your payment, way back wherever you are in line. And all you do at the window is pick your food up.
And let's be honest. Are you unwilling to wait a little bit? I mean, literally, you're waiting maybe 60 seconds longer than the other slowest. For way better food.
It really doesn't feel like it.
And for people being nice to you.
I think there's also something to be said about quality of sitting. Like, was your time worth it?
Right.
Was your time sitting there worth it?
Right.
Chick-fil-A line, yeah, absolutely it was.
And the other thing is if Chick-fil-A messes something up, they literally correct it within about 15 seconds.
So amazing.
Yeah, so amazing. You know what I mean? Like they're like, oh, I'm sorry. Here, keep that food that we handed you that was wrong. Here's the right stuff. Sorry about that. And you're just like, it's amazing. Anyway, all right.
No, it's absolutely amazing. Guys, we got to talk about. I just signed up for this week, and I wanted to know your guys' opinion on it. Lots of new streaming services coming out. Everyone's coming out with their own streaming service. Kind of annoying.
And Disney's taking over all of it.
Disney Plus.
Yes.
You going to do Disney Plus?
You know what? I think we are, except I'm going to be waiting till November when they do the package deal of Disney Plus, ESPN Plus, Hulu, and something else. Anyway.
Oh, interesting.
Mainly because it's starting at, I think it's like $13 or something.
It's basically the same as Netflix, and you get way more stuff. And now nothing Disney owns is going to be on Netflix.
Right.
Yeah.
And I've got like my kids are, all for it, and I already have ESPN Plus, so I will be actually saving money with this.
Interesting, yeah.
So I'm kind of excited about it. We'll see. With Disney, like it's going to work. It just, there's no way it's not going to work because I mean they have like billions of dollars to throw at it.
So I've got Hulu through my Spotify account, like free through Spotify for some reason or other. I don't have ESPN Plus, which would get me college games, which would be nice.
Some college games, not the major ones. That's the problem. It gets you kind of.
Yeah, but I get those on network.
You talking about Hulu? You're talking about Hulu?
No, ESPN Plus.
Oh, ESPN Plus.
Hulu's got the Hulu Live.
Hulu. Well, with Hulu Live,
ESPN.
like that's what I'm watching Michigan on right now.
I have ESPN Plus for MLS games because you can watch the majority of MLS games on it.
I'm just not willing to pay $40 a month for Hulu Live or YouTube Live or whatever. I just don't want to do it.
No.
I will not watch it enough for that. Whereas if I have all the Disney movies, like I'm gonna watch them. It'll be great.
I'm curious what this is going to do to Netflix. I was listening to a guy rant. I was listening to a guy go on a rant about the difference between the two and what Netflix is. And apparently right now, like Netflix has never made a profit.
Yeah.
And apparently they are like so far in debt as far as, because they go from a viewpoint or a standpoint right now of, okay, well, we'll make these shows and we'll borrow money against these shows and say that we're going to make them and everything else. And then eventually down the road, we'll be able to make money.
So they may make money on the latest thing they've made, though. It was the new De Niro movie.
Well, but I'm saying, though, is they're
claiming this is going to be their masterpiece. I don't know if it will or not.
We'll see.
But how do you make money on that when you're just charging the same monthly rate?
Right. And that's what they were saying.
Well, they're sending that to theaters.
The only hope for Netflix is for them to keep raising their rate until they are actually profitable enough to be sustainable.
And see, I won't hang out for that. I won't stick around.
Not when Disney's taking everything.
Not when I'm losing content.
Because why would you pay $13 or $12 a month for Netflix, or you could get Disney, which is including, for their package includes 4 different things, including Hulu. I would imagine it's probably like a shortened version or an abridged version of Hulu, but still, it's tempting, man. And Disney's going for the throat kill.
Yeah, I know, and rightly so. So that's all for this week. www.thefrontporchshow.com. Keep us updated, Ozzy, on your streaming adventures. I mean, we're all streaming now. We don't have.
Let us know when you sign up for Disney Plus so we can steal your login.
Yeah, right. My login starts November 12th or whatever it is. I'm excited.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm super excited. It's going to be a blast.
Awesome.
I'm going to binge for like a month straight. It'll be awesome. Check us out on Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, iHeart, all those fun places. You can hear us there. Also on YouTube. We're on YouTube. No video for right now, but hopefully in the next couple of weeks we'll get you some video up there. You can watch our beautiful faces as we entertain the masses. Any final thoughts? Oh, hey there. We got to go. Later. Bye-bye.
Go Blue.